Coming up on this episode of Vanilla Survival, Bubba sets out to build a true underground iron mine. A new tunnel drilling ship takes shape. The first shafts go deep. And an old outpost finally gets a long overdue visit, where the hunt for Prototech begins.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my Vanilla Survival series, here with the Apex update. So, we're working on episode 3 now. I know it's been a little while, but hopefully we can start getting back into these. But let me come down here and show you what we've been working on off screen before we actually get into what we have planned for today. So we have a platform here and some wolves. Alright, wolves are dealt with. So down here, like I was saying, we have a platform here with a rotor that's switched to small grid. We'll get into that here in a minute. If we come down here, you notice we got a cargo container or a half container here. This is so we can access our food and stuff down here. Plus we are running out of room on everything on top to store everything. So as you can see, we have 238 algae. So our algae fills up. Once it gets to about 12, it stops producing it. So you want to make sure you go through every day and clear it out if you want to keep producing algae. And then if you look over here, you notice I've cleaned this up some. So we have just our normal assembler now. It has all the speed pods on it. So it should make building stuff a lot quicker. And then the same thing with our refiner. It's the only refiner we have. Again, it has 2 speed upgrades, and then we have a power upgrade just because. So I took a day building all this up. I went on a couple of runs, so now we have a whole lot more iron. We got some magnesium, some gold, we got some silver. We don't have any gold, but we're still chewing up some cobalt, so we got a little bit more cobalt left. I filled up the irrigation system with more ice. We did use up all the ice that was in there, so that's why there's nothing planted up there right now. Also, we also now have a survival kit on the base, and we still have the one on the rover. Extra cargo, so we added another extra cargo container here. We have that one there, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, we got one more back here. So that way we have more than enough cargo to start everything that we need to get started for this episode. So I've never really played Space Engineers in vanilla. I've played it just a little bit to mess around with it. I've played it between updates because some of the mods don't work sometimes, but I've never done a full series in vanilla. So I've decided to go ahead and try it out, especially with the new encounters and the new AI stuff that they have going on. So there's some items that we can't build unless we have certain materials. So like this Prototech jump drive. And then we have Prototech thrusters, refineries, assemblers, gyroscopes, batteries, drills, and fusion reactors. Before that, we need Prototech. So here's a Prototech cooling unit, Prototech capacitor, Prototech frame, Prototech panel. So we have to actually go out and searching for this stuff. We actually cannot build any of the Prototech items, so we actually have to go after encounters where we will be able to grab those items. And there are some encounters that actually have full models, so like the jump drive and stuff like that, where we can actually capture it without actually building it. So the goal of this series, I think now, is going to try to capture all the Prototech stuff and build it. So we're going to either capture or build everything in here and fly away. So once we have the jump drive, we can technically say we're flying to a new star system. So we'll have us a nice ship and everything like that. But we're going to fight everything in vanilla, again, except for the quality of life mods that I have, which shouldn't break or do anything different with that. It's just going to make these videos, recordings, and my sanity a little bit easier, especially with build vision. That's going to help with a lot of building stuff a lot quicker. So that's going to be my goal for this series. I want to make it different. So that's going to be the other part of the goal. Yes, we're going to collect all this stuff in vanilla, but we're also going to try to do it in unique and creative different ways. So with that, one of the things that we're going to need to start building up our base and having different structures around here is iron. And of course a lot of different ores, but iron's going to be the main one. So for us to get iron, we can either hand drill it, which takes forever, as you saw on the last episode. We can make a mining ship to actually fly down there, mine it up, pick it up, and bring it back. Or we can actually make a physical mine at the mine. So like drills and pistons and hinges and all that kind of stuff. Now I want to do the third option, which is build an actual mining facility down here. So I want to kind of have different buildings spread out along our area here. I think that's going to make it look more lived in and not just one big huge base. So, but before we can do that, we're going to need to dig out inside the mine. So on the outside is just going to have the entrance in, and then of course it's going to just be regular land. You don't have to worry about falling into the big hole. But once you get into the mine, we're going to have a huge open pit, at least where this iron vein is. So to drill out the inside, we can either make a drill, static drill, inside and drill it out like that. We can hand mine it, or we can make us a little miner. So more of a drill ship. That's where this platform comes in right here. So this is going to be our building platform for now until we actually build us a warehouse where we can start building stuff on the inside. I'm using the rotor here, so once we get the batteries up, we can start getting them on charge. So the batteries is going to be more of the main focus of at the beginning, so we can start getting those charged up while we build everything else. That way, by the time we're done building everything, our batteries are charged and we can get straight to work instead of having to stand around and wait for those. So first we got to figure out what type of control seat we want to use. So we can either use a buggy cockpit. They're pretty big. A little stylish though. They are a little compact and with a little roll cage. We have a helm that's actually a little bit bigger than what I want it to be. We have the saddle cockpit, which is 3 blocks wide with the conveyor through it. We have the compact one, which is actually 2 blocks wide, no conveyor access. I'm going to go with the regular saddle cockpit because it is 3 blocks wide. That's about how big our drill is. Problem is there's only a couple of connection points that you can use for this one. So what I've wanted to do is we'll make the base first. So we'll go with our thrusters. We're going to be using small atmospheric thrusters. So we're going to do 6 of them on one side. We're going to put some batteries down the middle. Again, we're going to be using small batteries. This is going to make it a little bit more compact. So size-wise, this will take up less space in this, but because these are smaller, we can actually pack these in like this. So we're going to have 6 small atmospheric thrusters. Now, if I remember right, it takes 2.5 of these to make up 1 of these. So size-wise, it's a little bit more compact because this one just uses the 1 thrust down. These, you'll have to worry about the thrust from each of these, but there's a little bit more trick and some more things you can do with that, but we'll look at that here in a minute. But now that we got our chassis down, we can go ahead and put our cockpit down. Then we're going to put in a conveyor like this. Probably just put in a normal conveyor. We're going to need to put in another one back here. Now we can actually change these to cargo containers, but we're not wanting to add cargo to this because we're not going to be able to put a lot of weight on it. So we'll just do regular conveyors. Batteries back here. These batteries, I'd rather have the weight of the batteries than have to do with the cargo. Hold on, the wolves are back. That's one of the things that I like the wolves in a way that you can get early food, but after a while, they seem to show up every 5 to 10 minutes, and that's a little too much. They need to kind of calm them down, especially when you're in a stage like I am where you don't need the meat as much. Alright, back to our ship here. So if we add the extra batteries on the back like that, now we can add our thrusters. So we're going to add these two right here. Now, from my testing, having these a block and a half away from the seat here isn't going to change anything, so we're not going to burn the seat up. So we can actually put those there. Put these two back here like this. And then we're going to put our connector right here in the middle. So we can do either this connector, which can add a little bit more detail to it, or we can do a insect connector. We can always change it later, but I kind of like having different detail in this, especially when we start building the outsides of this. So now with that there, we're going to have protection all around it, and we're going to need to put our drill on. I'm going to be using the new drill that you can get from the DLC. So this is the normal drill that you get. Nothing different between this one and this one except for the look. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and just use this one. I like the look of it better. And from what I can tell is where the straight part is, this is the orientation it needs to be. Mainly because if you look at it, there is writing on it, and this puts the writing in the right direction. The only thing I don't like about this drill is besides the connections and the back panel, the sides, those connections on the sides are the only other way to connect stuff to this. So you can see how the block is the bottom part. You can't connect anything to the bottom. And the top part you can't connect anything to. The part where it's not, where this connection point is, so right here, you can't connect anything to that. So it's going to make the build look a little bit cut off, but I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. The way that I've been doing the food is I usually try to eat something every time I either have to recharge or get fuel. So as long as I eat one thing while I'm doing all that, my food pretty much stays good. I think I hear another wolf out there coming. They get a little bit annoying, and at one point I might turn them off if this does get excessive. I'm trying to build and do stuff and not having to worry about these stupid wolves. It's one reason I made the platform up here like this, so I don't have to worry about it coming and bite me in the butt. So now that we got our drill on here, we're going to need to do our side thrusters and everything, but first I'm going to go ahead and build up these batteries and everything that we have on here so I can, again, get these batteries charged up. So I'm going to do this real quick. Alright, so now that we got the main body of the drilling ship here made, so this is exactly how long it's going to be. We're just going to have it just a little bit wider, but not much more than this. So any type of cut we can do, it's going to be able to fit through it. So now we have all of our thrusters for all directions except for two. We don't have left and right. We're going to add just half blocks to the sides here. This. So this is going to be exactly how wide this miner is going to be. We'll worry about that block once we're done with all this. I want to put in two side thrusters. So we'll put it in maybe like this to kind of separate them. But this way, if we do try to dip sideways, because we're going to be digging in a dark hole and turning like this, you'll actually start to lean. So having the extra thrust, if we're starting to lean this way, we won't go complete crashing into the ground. So that's why I want to have a little bit extra on the sides like this. We're going to have more than enough power and weight to be able to do all that. Put these up here like this. That way the thrust coming through here kind of have an exhaust. You technically don't need it, but I'm just doing it for looks. And then one of the other things we can do is because of the way that these blocks work, so you see the middle thruster here in this part, this is the only part that damages blocks. So we can actually set a light right here like this, and it won't damage it because it's not going to be touching it. So the grid for these, either though the hitbox is bigger, it's not going to mess with the light itself because we're only getting damage from this one spot. So we can actually hide us a light right here, like that. We could technically do that down here to these too, if we had some lights, we can always try to hide them in down here when we build the bottom part. And they should be fine, and that way we can have light pointing down without having big blocks here on the bottom. And again, that's the whole reason why I'm doing this with these grids. It'll give us light to the sides, so we don't have to have lights or extra blocks here on the side. And now on the back, we're going to build this up, kind of have a trunk back here, and then we're going to build the front up and actually have windows up here. But let me weld all this together, and then we'll work on the rest of this. Alright, welded those up real quick. So now you can kind of see how the side's going to look, and then with the light shining through. We're going to have to design the back up a little bit more to make this look a little bit nicer. And then just a design to incorporate the front part back up here. But we're going to need, again, to put the gyro in somewhere. Now we can always hide them up here on the front. So we can always do more than one gyro, just to give us a little bit more movability. I don't know if we're going to need both of them. We can always turn one off, but we got spaces for them, so we might as well use that. Or we can... no, we'll just use one gyro. And then we'll put a vent control over here on the other side, since these will be covered up. Alright, so now that we got those put in, so now we got an event controller. Kind of put it in a way so we can have a little bit of detail, because we won't be able to cover that up. You'll be able to see the gyro over here, but again, the top part is going to get covered up. We're going to do that part next. So we're going to put in a corner text panel right here. Transparent text panel right there. Build those up real quick. So now we're going to have that as our panels. You'll see why I want this panel here in a little bit, once we get everything completed and set up. Look back here on the back. But next we're going to do our windows. So we're going to put these up like this. We're going to come here to the side, put in our triangles. So these are going to give us kind of a little window. Makes this more look like a speeder, I would think. Not really any type of function, but again, it's just going for a look. So there we go. We got our nice little speeder window area. And now we just need to decorate the sides. It's still giving a little bit of a boxy vibe, but we can also change this out once we get into coloring it. See what I was meaning about the little gap? There's going to be a little bit of a gap between these and this, just the way this block is designed. I think that works. Finish that off on this side. So now we can keep this part up here. Since we can't put anything on top of this, again, nothing will actually click to the top, and we can't click anything to here to move it out. So the top's going to just have to look a little awkward like that. I think it's going to be fine. Now we work on the bottom. So on the bottom we're just going to put half grids down here. I think that breaks it up a little bit, and then that keeps it stopping right there. Again, we're going to have a little bit of a gap through here where you can see the batteries, but there's nothing we can do about that. Alright, sun's coming down. I think I heard some thunder, so we might get a little bit of rain, and it's foggy out. But this is about how the little drill ship's going to look. I think it came out pretty good. Tried to make it kind of sleek. Again, it's going to be compact so it can drill through tunnels, so that's why it's so skinny. But definitely think I broke up a lot of the edges, so it's definitely not boxy looking. So this is going to be the back end. I did move this connector back one more, and I still think that gives it a nice little detail how that is. Oh, we didn't weld that one up. I got lights down, the backlight back here. I do have some spotlights down here in the front, so we can have a little bit more view forward. I have these lights down here. Again, because the thrust damage happens from this one right here. These lights, from what I've tested out before and others, these lights should be fine here. They shouldn't get damaged. So this will give us a lot of light heading downward. I don't have any light heading up, but with all these lights kind of souped up some more, we can make them a little bit brighter. I think that will give us more than enough light for our tunnels. So now I just need to go ahead and paint it. Yep, got some lightning there. So let me go ahead and paint this, and then we'll do the final reveal, and then we'll head down there to the tunnel. We can do a lot of this stuff at night, since it is going to be underground, dark anyways. So we can do the next step and get that started. So hopefully by daytime, we can at least get part of the mine actually up and running. But let me paint this real quick, and then I'll take it off of here, and then we'll do the final reveal for it. Alright, so everything's all painted. So this is our little miner. I made a little spot up here for it to connect to. So we have the connector here. It's all connected up. I have the event controller programmed for it. I think it came out pretty good, but let's go ahead and give it a test run here. So now all we have to do is hit the connector. Engines turn on, batteries come off a recharge. Turn our lights on. So we don't have too far front clearance lights, but again, this is mostly going to be working outside or in a tunnel. But we can turn on our outer lights. So if we get into closer to the ground, we should be able to see all around us. Again, we can maybe add lights pointing up, but I don't think we should have to worry about that, because we can always brighten up our outside lights. So I know it's dark, but let's go ahead and see how this runs here. So the reason I wanted to have the screen on the front like that is for our horizon screen. That way, if I'm working in first person, which I'll probably be doing a lot in making the tunnels, because with all the voxels around you, sometimes it's hard to do in this type of view. It'll zoom you in and out. But now with this, we have total view of our horizons, even if we go down too far where we can't see the top outside one. So you see where my pointer is, that one. Sometimes that one can disappear, so that's why I wanted to have that screen right there in front of us. It's set at the right spot, so this is level right here. So that's going to make digging and all kinds that kind of stuff easier. Plus we have a lookout of our power, and then of course our speed over there. No matter, we do have it down there, but if we're looking at this view, we got a better eye of everything. But I think it did turn out really well. So let's go ahead and give it a quick little run down here at the iron mine. And then landing here, it does sit upright, so we don't have to worry about it having too much weight on the front or back. So that means the weight just sitting empty is distributed pretty well. So here we are in our iron mine. It's further down this way. So this is all that we've already drilled out by hand. So we're going to need to set our drills up. Kind of want to make it to one side, but we kind of also want to make the tunnel not too far off. So I don't want to make it go out this level. I definitely want it up at a higher level, so probably about right here. I don't want it all the way up here, but I think right here would make a good level. So if we look at the Vanguard outpost right here, we can bring the mine in this way. Put us a GPS right here. If we look at our mine GPS right here, I want the entrance to be down this far. So we kind of line this up with that right there. That's about how we want to drill this out. Kind of in line with the base too. So I think that'll make a good tunnel, or the beginning tunnel right here. Making us a little platform here. We'll drill this out a little bit with a little platform. This is just going to be our kind of starting area. Let me get into our drill ship here. Line ourselves on this platform. And then if we put our horizon level like this. So we're completely flat on the platform. If we go like this and right click mine, we should be able to pretty much make a straight line. So the tool shake does kind of affect it a little bit, but as long as we try to keep it on this line, we should be good. So we'll just drill us our entrance right here. So now this should be pretty much level. Might be a little bit of a slope in it. But if we did that right, that should be level. We'll come back and cut these out. That way we can actually bring the blocks down a little bit more in line with the ground here. So as of actually making it level, I think we did a really good job at that. We are off a little bit to the side here, but that should be okay. Our floor in the middle is going to be 2 blocks wide. But using that drill machine, it definitely helped and made this a lot easier. And then we can drill out this to make it a little bit more level to come out. So yeah, I didn't line up the right way. I should have been going this way. So that's off a little bit, but again, this should be fine. We can always just kind of hand mine some of this out. Now I need to find our actual mine. Now we know where our main mine is. We're going to get into our drill ship here and then just mine out all this. Alright, so I think this should definitely be big enough to build our drilling stuff that we need in here. We're going to keep this hole here because we're going to need to put in some wind turbines. So this is going to be the axis up where our wind turbines are going to be. And of course we'll have our entrance right here. So yeah, I did push that the wrong way. I think it still will look pretty well. And then we'll have the main part of the entrance right here. Right, I think that'll work. So we'll be able to drive the rover up here once we get everything up, and it'll just be able to park up here, load up, and then head back out. We'll have our door and our entrance right here. We'll be able to put our server room and our cargo container off in this direction, I think. So we'll probably start our drills this way and have them run out that way. That'll be the closest part. And then we'll have us a little line that we'll run up here for our power. Alright, I think we're going to drill out more of this back part so we can get the drills up a little bit higher. So let me just drill this out. So I think that might be high enough. We'll probably put a cargo container right back here. And then we'll have the drills go off that way. We'll stack them so we can get it to run all the way out and then all the way back in. And that's where the automatic park's going to go. So we need at least 3 up. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. So this part right here. We're eventually going to be able to put a piston down to go further. But let's go ahead and set up all this. So I'm going to keep the drill ship down here, but we're going to go up and get the rover. So I got parts in it, ready to go. Right, got the rover down here. Just gonna need to swap out for some plates. Alright, so we're gonna put a large cargo container right here. That should... I'll move it one more back like that. And then we're gonna need to start working on our conveyor. So I'm gonna go with this like this. I think I'm going to put a rotor up here. I'm sure it's an advanced rotor. That way I can line it up. So because right now if we cut this way, we're going to go that way. But if I put the rotor on here, I can line it up to match more with how this vein is going. I put this up here. Now we might just do a T. That way we can do the pistons off to the side of this. So let me get most of this stuff welded up. Mainly this rotor, so we can lock it. So I think we're going to set it up like this, and then we'll be able to push this one out. So that'll bring it back over here to this, so we can get this in. So this one will push in, and then once it gets to right here, these will push out. And I think that should be able to get us all the way down to here. We'll test it out here in a minute. We're going to need to add power to all this, but we're also going to need to build all this up. So we are going to need to add a battery, and then of course do our wind turbines up that way. So we'll probably put a battery over here in this corner. So I'll need to get all that up, and then I'll weld all this up just to make sure we're lined up right and get our battery up, and then try working on getting everything over here to get our wind turbines up. In fact, I might be able to just bring those blocks over for now. We might set something up to make it look a little bit better later. But I wanted to try to hug this wall as much as possible so we don't have to worry about it getting in the way of our drills over here. Alright, so I got everything welded up, got our cargo up. We got us a battery here. You notice our pistons are coming through. I'm just going to try to make sure I got enough room and how far this is go. So that's why I got these grills set up this way. I also have us a tower set up, and it's also running. So we shouldn't have to worry about power now. So let's see if we are going to be able to go far enough with this. And we got wolves already, of course. So if we push this back one more, I think we'll be able to make it as far as all this down here. So this keeps going further. We can always do another run if we want to make it go any further this way. Also want to make sure that we're lined upright. Don't get caught up in my drills here either. So alignment does look pretty good. I think I should be able to get all of this in. This should come out to about right here. That one should come straight down. We might miss a little bit of this here, but we can always put a sideways one on there. And then we can also stack these a little bit, so when they're coming down from here, we can have 3 sets here, and then we can move another 3 sets up here. So I'm going to reverse those back. So we might be able to add another piston here so we can get down that way. So let's go ahead and do that. We can just grind all of this down and put it back into
full.
This cargo container. That way we have everything right here. Alright, so I went ahead and added an extra piston, so that should definitely give us more than enough room to go this way. So I'm just extending it out again to cut this line here to make sure these pistons can extend. And then we'll move and start grinding up the iron on the bottom. We're probably going to have to put in 1 spacer and then put these on the bottom, and then once we get a line out, we're going to have to do that again, because I think we need 3 blocks to put a piston in. So once we get 3 spaces down that we put a piston in, then that'll help. We won't have to do that no more. So then if we have our drill set up right here, oh yeah, that'll definitely get it right to where we need it to be. So I'm going to cut out a little bit of this right here so we can have a little bit more clearance. Alright, so now we got our drills going. I think they are going a little too fast. Gotta slow them down a little bit. So we are gonna miss a little bit of this on this side, but again, I can always add one going to the side here, so I'll get this while it's going down. Right now I'm just trying to make it so we have a clean path down. But this side looks like it should be good. Or we could always add another one over here if we want to. But I think this should be fine, and we'll just add a small second one going sideways when we come down to this part. Alright, so once I get this set up, I'll start working on this part too. I'll probably need to get some iron up on the main base. So I'm going to go ahead and load up our rover here. I'm going to have to do it by hand until I get a connector, so we'll work on that next. But I just want to make sure I got the drill all set up before we go on to our next thing we're going to do today. It's almost. So once this actually, I get this set up right for the right speeds, we shouldn't have too much of a problem here. Looks like we are dealing with a little bit this here. Let's knock some of this down. Make it a little bit easier on it. Now doing this, I'm not going to lose these rocks because these will actually pick up these. So that way I'm not right-clicking to get rid of some of this iron here. No matter, we should have more than enough iron that we're going to need for anything. Even after we do this vein, we have a couple more veins in here. But doing it this way, those drills will actually suck up these little rocks that I'm breaking here. But now that we have all of this broken up, I don't have to come down here and babysit it now. We should be able to make the runs without doing any of that. And then once we do that, we can get the piston put on, and then we can automate everything. Alright, so now we got the piston set up in there. I got the drill that's going to go this way. Actually, turn it on just in case. So that's going to grab the little bit on this side when we get down to it. This should be able to push it all the way down to right here. So we're going to need to come back and get this stuff later. But that could be arranged depending on where the next part of where more iron is. So we got more iron going that way. So we might dig a hole and start heading towards that iron main after this one. We're going to have to survey all that later. But yeah, this is definitely going to help. I got our rover here full of iron already to take a trip up there. And if we come into our cargo container here, we have 266k in here already. So I might just make this one run and then stop it there. And we can work on the actual base a little bit later. I do want to add the cargo, or at least a port to connect that up to, so we can get iron up to the base up top too. But let me run this down and then we'll come back and make a little connection. It could be temporary for now. I haven't decided if I just want to drive our rover through here. So we'll be able to drive up to here, have a kind of a blast door. The blast door can open, we can drive in, and then we can make a big turnaround spot in here. And then when we leave, we can go out that way. Let me go ahead and run this iron up to the top because we are out of iron up there. And then we'll come back here and set up this connector. I'll take this up there too. And then maybe this will already have its first run going that way. Alright, so it's morning time. We got more of the mine actually set up. So we'll fly down here real quick. I'll show you what we got going on. So I've decided that we're going to use this and we're going to drive into this area. We might have to make it a little bit wider, but with our ship here, we should be able to do that easily. Oh, found a hole. But I cleared out a lot more of this area so we can have a spot to turn around. We now have a connector that we connected up to our rover. And we actually drilled out most of this iron patch here. So we got more to go on that side, so we can switch these drills around and use this same platform to grab all the rest of this stuff. But right now, I think we got more than enough iron. So we have 430,000 iron in here. Plus there's another 3k in the connector. We got stone. And then I have extra parts in here for when we were building all this stuff. So this should be okay sitting here for now. So now we're going to go ahead and scout out this outpost to see what it has. To start getting some of our goodies in. There's supposed to be some Prototech, or there could be some food. We don't know what we're going to find. I do want to add a gun to our rover here. And we're probably going to take this drill off. Just to help with a little bit of the weight. Now we can always add it on, but we got that other drill ship, so I don't see any reason for that anymore. We're going to go ahead and bring our rover over to the platform over there, so we can go ahead and add a turret to it. I'm just going to put a Gatling turret on it, nothing too major. I don't even know if we're going to need it over there, but might as well have it. I'd rather have it, not use it, than need it, not have it, kind of thing. Oh, or flip my rover over. There we go. So we'll park this right here. So we can easily add a turret up here. We're going to take this ladder off. So we have a connector point back here, but we also have one underneath this parachute hatch. Now I don't have any need for the parachute, so we can go ahead and remove that. We'll just need to raise this conveyor up like this. So we'll just put that on there. I want to take these two sides off like that, and then we're going to put the Gatling turret on top of here. It's not going to be anything fancy, but just something in case we're going to need it, like I was saying. I'm going to use the new one on here like this. So let's get this welded up and then piped up and then get some ammo on it, and then that's all we really should need. I'm not going to go too much in detail with this rover. We might eventually build us a rover that we're going to use to attack stuff, so something a little bit more stronger. But we're scouting out this one. I think this one will be just fine. Alright, so we got our current all connected. I got some ammo in here ready for it. Again, just in case we might need it. I got some extra food. I got some food on me. I'm going to eat some of this so I can have at least a little bit of full food going in. But I don't know if I will. Just in case I do die, I have enough to survive right now. So I might just keep that on the rover, because every time if we do die, we're going to need food. I have some extra weapons in the cockpit. I have the assault rifle on me. I got full hydrogen. We're going to go ahead and change these tools out. I want some low-grade tools. Well, I don't have to worry about losing those, of course, unless I lose the rover, but hopefully we don't have to deal with that. Right, I think we're all ready to go. Let's go ahead and head on down there. So it's a little over 5 k's away, so it's going to be a little bit of a drive, but we'll see you when we get down there. Alright, we're coming into range. Let's go ahead and see if we can see anything. What we got here? We're down underneath a kind of a hill here. I don't hear any gunfire yet. Oh, okay. Yeah, they got a big gun on top. Oh, it's in the dark, so I can't see much of anything. Looks like some type of... might be something right there. Oh, it looked like there was something. Oh, yep. Got an interior turret back there. And we got a Gatling turret right here. That's not good. Let's go ahead and keep our distance from them. There's a tree line back that way. We might be able to go and head up there. That might be a good place to hide out. Definitely want to keep our rover far enough away, because that big turret up there is going to destroy us. Is this a rock back here? We might be able to hide behind the rock. It is a rock. An iron rock. So I don't think they can get a good line of sight. So I think this is good. So let's go ahead and head on. Gotta get my tools set up here, and then we'll head on in, see what we can come up with or find. They didn't get an alert to us. It does say a tactical alert, but come up here. Oh, got an alarm going off. That's not good. So maybe they see us. It's not. Oh, nope. Yep. We'll have to take these guns out here. A couple of hits. Oh. More hits. Whoa! It was ready now. Wait till it... Nope. We'll wait for it to turn it back around. Ooh, I ain't taking my chances. Get some pop shots here. Sun's coming out though. Reload. Oh, it's getting a little more antsier. Whoa, it's definitely getting a little more antsier. Hopefully we'll be able to take it out soon. Woo. Not today. More shots on it. Got it. Worry about big boy down there. Whoa! Oh, that was close. Aha, got it. Now we just don't worry about the big boy up there. Let's make it up here. Might be able to grind him down. I don't think I'll be able to take him out with my gun. We'll just grind him down here. Alright. Outside's good. Let's go ahead and check on the inside. See if there's anything in here. Okay, up here looks good. Check down below. Weapons rack, nothing over here. Alright, nothing over here. So I didn't think I saw any other doors downstairs. Let me just make sure. Don't want to have any surprises around here. Nope, don't see any doors down here. So we're going to go ahead and capture the base here. So in vanilla, the way to capture the base is pretty much have to go down and grind every single block that has a computer in it to get access to it. So it's a pain in the butt. There are mods to make it a little bit easier, but we're not going to really worry about that right now. Again, I'm trying to make this, and oh, we don't have that progression. I know we could do a cargo container. Just so I could get over here to this. Claim grid. Now, even though I claim grid does not mean that none of the stuff is owned by me. So it says it's built by me, but I don't have access to it. I still have to grind everything down to gain access to it. So, like, I don't have access to that. So I just have to grind it down to the functional line. Down to the hack line.
Inventory full.
And then back up, and then it should be mine. Batteries is kind of harder because you got to worry about you will lose some of the power cells if you don't do it right. So, let's start remembering to bring some computer cells with me to do, or some power cells with me so we can hack the batteries. I don't know what I want to do with this base, but, come through and hack as much as we can. We do have some cargo here. What's in here? We have some... Oh, here's some power cells. We don't even have to worry about it. We got some uranium. We got some superconductors. And we got some computer. These actually have gold in them, too. So that's real good, though. That's really going to help. Now we can hack this.
Inventory full. Inventory full.
You're
Inventory
okay.
full.
Good thing those computer cells, or those power cells were there. So let me just go through here. What do we have in this cargo? We got some rockets. And what do we got in here? We got some scrap metal. Don't really care about that. Here we got a Prototech cooling unit. That's one of the items we're looking for. We only have one of them though, so depending on some of the things, we need like 400 or 200 of these to build something. So that's going to be a lot of these bases we're going to have to get. Got a Prototech frame, some circuitry, some nickel, and some explosive. Let me go through and hack the rest of this stuff. And then we'll see what we're looking at. Another cargo here. Some solar cells, some detector components, nickel. Can we get into the weapons? We can get into the weapon rack though. So we got some extra guns here. Bed does have storage in it. We got a notepad. Space is dangerous. I sell security. Can't think of something nobler than that. Okay. Well, your security didn't work too well. Oh, here's some more cargo. A power kit. Bathroom. So what do we got in the... Here, we got tools. We got better tools on us, actually, but let's switch these out. We got better tools in the rover, though, so this will at least make some of the hacking go a little bit quicker. Got another small cargo container. We got a beacon, the interior turrets, another small cargo connector. Alright, so I went through. I think I got pretty much everything hacked. So I'm not worried about an LCD panel. The interior turret, we've already beat that. I already hacked the beacon, had to get some parts out of it. There is another small cargo container somewhere. I gotta find that one. And we have another battery. I already hacked those. I hacked that one. And then the event controllers is the only other two things, but those aren't anything major. So at this point, I say that I've captured the base. So this is probably where we're going to end this episode at for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and stay tuned for more battles with these outposts. This one was an easy one for our first one, which I was okay with that. So I'm going to take all the goodies from here and take them back to the base. I don't know what else we're going to do with this. We might just keep it up here for now. Maybe have it as like a secondary base. We might come and scrap stuff out of it, but with the iron coming in, I think we're going to be fine with materials for now. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy this, and we'll see you next time.
The entrance and main chamber of the new iron mine are finally taking shape, and one iron vein is nearly cleared. With a steady supply on the way and our first Prototech finds recovered from the nearby outpost, the vanilla project is gaining momentum. Until next time, stay creative, stay curious, and stay certified whack.
What did I do with my rover? Where is it hiding? This way. Let's go ahead and bring it in, and we have an unknown signal down here. I don't think all this loot's gonna fit in here.